Joining us now again live, our investigative reporter, Brendan Kirby, to answer coronavirus assistance questions. Now, Brendan, we talked about the unemployed in the last hour. Just who is eligible for those expanded benefits?
Well, there's a long list, Byron, including people who are self-employed, people who work for the government or a church who have lost their job, people in the so-called gig economy like Uber drivers, freelancers. What the state's saying here is that if you've been impacted by the coronavirus and think you might be eligible at all, go ahead and file a claim and see if you qualify.
Yeah, don't wait. But what if you're still working and you come down with the virus? What next?
Well, Congress previously had mandated that anyone who contracts the virus or anyone that has to care for someone who does gets a guaranteed 2 weeks full paid leave. And if you have a child at home because the school has closed and you don't have child care and you need to stay home to take care of the child, you can get an additional 10 weeks at 2/3 of your pay. Now, these are benefits that the federal government is going to reimburse companies for, so that's going to be a big expense.
All right. Now, if your child is home because the school is closed and you have no child care, can you still take an additional 10 weeks at 2/3 pay? Plus, are the feds going to compensate companies for the cost of all this?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said before, that child care was a concern, a lot of companies shutting down, and of course most of the schools are now closed, and the daycare situation is spotty. So in that first bill that Congress passed last month, they included a provision under the Family and Medical Leave Act where, and this is a special thing just for this situation, you can stay home, take care of that child, you don't have to come to work, and you're guaranteed to get up to 2/3 of your pay. And there's a cap on that. I think it's about $200 a day.
Yes.
But basically anyone in that situation will be guaranteed some money.
I guess it might be easier to answer who is not eligible, huh?
Well, there are two main groups. If you work for a company that has set up a telecommuting situation and you have the ability to work from your home for that company, then you have to do that. You can't file unemployment claims. And also people who are getting paid leave, they can't file claims either. The unemployment benefits are just for people who have actually either been terminated from their positions or their jobs have gone away because the companies have closed down.
All right, let's talk about the small business loans. We have heard a lot about these. We've also heard a lot of questions from folks watching Fox 10 News. Can you break down how these SBA loans are going to work?
Yeah, it's complicated, but the main feature is the Paycheck Protection program, and this is designed to keep people on the workforce while small companies can get through this as they're shut down. Basically, it's eligible for small businesses with fewer than 500 employees. They can get 2.5 times their average monthly payroll costs, and that money has to be used to pay workers, rent, utilities, and a few other approved expenses. Now, it has to be paid back at a 1% interest rate, but as long as companies keep their pre-coronavirus payrolls and use no more than 25% of the funds for non-payroll expenses, then they can turn in the grants.
So the bottom line there is if you keep your workers on the payroll, you're not going to have to pay that loan back. It will become a grant. Is that accurate?
Right, absolutely, and that is the idea. Is we want to freeze things in place,
sure.
Let companies be able to survive months of not having revenue come in while still being able to pay their workers. And there's a provision in there, by the way, if you have laid off your workers, you can hire them back at this point,
right,
and still be eligible for this, and that money will be a grant.
All right, is it too late to apply for an SBA loan?
Well, Byron, last Friday was the first day for small businesses to apply for this, and it got overwhelmed. So most of the $349 billion that Congress authorized is probably already spoken for at this point. But congressional leaders are already talking about adding more money into that to cover businesses that haven't gotten in yet. This coming Friday is going to be the first day that independent contractors can apply for that. So I think the bottom line here is there's a lot more demand for this, and there's money available so far, but it looks like Congress is going to go ahead and authorize more. Right,
that's why they're considering the second part to this CARE Act. Brendan Kirby, our a reporter, and with all the answers regarding this, and we've already gotten questions in on our website. We we welcome those questions. Continue to bring them in. Brendan's going to have more answers tonight on Fox 10 News at 9. Brendan Kirby, thanks so much.